Um, a man who reads a newspaper probably, and he's a babysitter here.
Good. Yeah, he's looking after the
Uh,
baby, definitely.
yeah, baby is probably sleeping. Um, in trolley, I guess, right?
Not in a trolley, no, in a pram. Yeah, for this one, a pram. A pram is where the baby sleeps and you can push
Uh-huh.
it around. But you also have a buggy, sometimes called a stroller, and that's for older children. That's for toddlers, really, because they sit upright in a buggy, but they lay
Mm-hmm.
down and sleep in a pram.
From.
Um, and I haven't got my video on. I'll put my video on as well. There we go. I'm in a different place as well today. It's just too hot in the shed, so I decided to come inside. Okay, yeah, so the baby is asleep in the pram. Excellent. And dad is reading the newspaper, relaxing.
Then the baby probably wakes up and
Uh-huh.
starts to cry.
And starts crying. Starts to
Starts
cry.
crying, yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. Starts to cry is correct as well. I'm sorry. Sometimes I hypercorrect and I need to stop doing that. Starts to cry, starts crying. Both are correct with start. You can use gerund or infinitive with start, with begin, with a few other ones. Okay,
And the man um, takes the baby from the pram.
good,
The baby is still crying,
good.
and on the next picture, the man, um, I forgot the word for this thing which you put in the baby's mouth
Okay, this
to
is in England, we usually say a dummy. But
dummy.
again, in
Yeah.
the US, they do say a pacifier quite often. And I like to give you work. I don't think they'll understand dummy in the US. I'm not
Uh-huh.
sure. You'll have to ask an American. But I have heard it in many films called a pacifier because it calms them down, yeah, and so it pacifies the baby.
And he gives the dummy to the baby, but the baby, um, how to say, so.
How should I put it? I prefer how should I put it? Yeah, rather than how to say. How should I put it? Yeah, it's just what we usually say here, meaning how should I say it? How should I put it? Yeah, how to say is wrong unless it's in something like I don't know how to say this word. That's correct. But if you say how
How
to
should I
say
put
on
it?
its own, yeah,
Uh-huh.
how should I put it is much better.
Okay, thanks. So,
So
how
what?
should I put it when you when the baby like
Well, how do you say this, Pavel? How do you say this? Do you know that?
no, that's what I mean. So I didn't know the
I
word.
mean, what do we call the stuff inside the mouth? Have you heard it before? It begins with an S.
Spit out.
Spit something out, exactly. Spit something out. And spit is what we call the saliva in your mouth. Sometimes a medical word is saliva, but everybody calls it spit, what's in your mouth.
Mhm.
And when somebody spits, it's a verb as well. That just means, but if you spit something out, then you actually, yeah, that's what the baby's doing there. He spits out the dummy. Good.
Yeah, the baby spits out the dummy and continues crying. Um, then man turns the baby towards his face and is trying to laugh at him.
Good. Or
I
trying to
think,
make him laugh. Yeah, I think make him laugh. But yeah, he's laughing at him. He's trying to make him laugh.
but baby is still crying.
Good.
Um, and man probably doesn't know what to do. Uh, and he lays down the baby onto a bed probably
Yeah, he lays down the baby on the bed.
and starts changing sheet probably. I
Good.
mean
Yeah, changing his, do you know what we call like Pampers or stuff like that?
Pampers, yeah.
I mean, I agree that it doesn't look like Pampers. Perhaps it's just perhaps it's older than that. I think it's older than disposable
Hmm.
nappies. And that's what we call it. Disposable nappies are Pampers. Yeah, they're disposable because you can throw them away. And nappy is what we use for what babies wear. So he tries to change the baby's nappy.
Might be.
Good.
But the baby doesn't stop crying,
Good.
and the man actually gets angry.
Good.
he puts a pillow on his head
Excellent.
just to not hear the what is the noun for crying?
His cries, his screams, yeah, his cries, his screams,
Uh-huh.
yeah, his noise, something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, there is a noun. A cry is to cry, and a
Mhm,
cry. It's the
mhm.
same.
Uh, so he tries to decrease the sound level, and then a woman comes in,
Good, good.
and it appears that the baby wanted to eat.
Yes, this is why the baby was crying. Yeah, this is why the baby had started crying because it wanted to eat. It was a hungry baby. And so, which verb will be used? The woman. Which verb can we use for the
Feeding.
woman?
She
Good.
she's
She's
feeding
feeding.
him,
Excellent. She's feeding him, and you can always say breastfeeding here. She's
breastfeeding him.
breastfeeding him. But yeah, excellent. Absolutely excellent. Really good. Okay. Any other words that anybody saw there that they would like to tell us about? No? Okay. Let's go on to the next person then. I see Omar next. Yeah. Omar.
Oh, I'm Ömer. Okay, thank
Omer.
you.
Omer. Uh-huh.
Yes, Ömer.
Are you in Turkey? Is that right? Where are you, Omer?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Joining
Excellent.
from Turkey.
Excellent. So would you
Uh-huh.
like to do the next one, or do you want me to just do one at random? Do you want me to just put it in the middle at
No,
random?
no worries. Okay, so
This one's okay? You haven't done it before?
no, I haven't done it
Okay.
before yet. So on this picture,
Uh-huh.
I mean, in the first picture,
Uh-huh.
the women, three people actually, a woman, a man, and a baby. So it seems that the woman is delivering the baby to the man, right?
Good. Yeah, she's giving the baby to the man.
She's
I'm not
giving
sure
the
I'd say delivery here.
baby.
I mean,
Yeah.
usually deliver a baby is what the midwife does. Yeah, the midwife delivers a
Aha.
baby. And that's why be careful with
Nannies.
deliver a baby. Deliver a baby means to help with the birth. So the midwife delivers the baby.
Okay.
Or of
So,
course, the postman delivers a letter. That's the most common way for delivery. Yeah, postman
mm,
delivers letter, and yeah, sometimes you get food delivered. Yeah, sometimes the pizza shop delivers.
deliver, also deliver a speech, deliver a message,
You
right?
can, yeah, you can deliver a speech, deliver a
Yeah.
message. You can. Good.
Okay. So here the woman is giving the baby to the man, and then she leaves, and then she uh, goes out, right? Somewhere, I don't know. And
Good.
then the man takes the baby.
Good.
So I can say that the man is also wearing some formal garments, right?
I
So
think so.
he's
Yeah.
wearing a he's wearing a tie, and then he must be maybe official, maybe he is a serious guy. I'm not sure about that. And
Yeah,
he
we've seen a
takes the
moment.
he takes the baby and sits him or her in an armchair, right?
Good.
In an
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
armchair.
he sits him in the armchair. You can. Yeah, he puts him in the
Yeah,
armchair. He sits him in the
in the
armchair.
armchair, yes.
Good.
And
What's he on?
then
On what? What do you call that part under there?
on okay, so on a mitten, mit
Not mitten.
something.
Mittens are
Uh,
for like gloves, but without fingers.
I'm
Mittens
sorry,
are
not mitten, but mat.
not really a mat here. I would say cushion or
Oh,
pillow.
cushion. Okay,
Yeah, or
pillow.
pillow. I mean,
Okay,
pillow is
okay.
usually where your head goes. It's
Yes, all right. Uh-huh. So something soft, which is made out of textile things, right?
exactly.
And then in the next row of the pictures in the first one,
Yeah, in the next
so
row. In the next row.
yeah, in the next row, the man seems he's trying to enjoy the baby.
Not enjoy the baby. He's trying to entertain the baby.
Entertain the
Uh-huh.
baby. Yes, entertain the baby. And then he does some
Do you know what we
weird
call it? Kind of
things.
when you do like that to make somebody laugh?
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Not wiggle. Wiggle, like wiggle, you can wiggle your toes or your fingers and it means kind of move them. But I mean, when you do
Mimic?
that, not mimic, that's like copy. I mean, when you make somebody laugh by usually under their
Yeah,
arms,
Tickling.
okay.
Tickling.
tickling.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
tickling. And so, and then, but the baby suddenly starts crying, right? So
Good. Good.
maybe it didn't understand the
Good.
he's not quite mature to understand.
Not mature enough to
Not
understand.
mature enough to understand what is
Good.
done, right?
Good.
And then the guy doesn't give up. He continues. He keeps on doing similar things to entertain the baby.
Good.
Maybe he's trying to get the attention of the baby. And then in the next row, in the second picture, the van has gone through under the chair,
Good.
and then so I can say that he's doing his best to entertain the
Yeah, he's trying to surprise the baby, yeah, and suddenly appear
surprise
out
the
of nowhere.
baby. Yes, actually, we all did similar things to our children.
It's a
And
typical
then,
father, yeah, activity.
yeah, yes, and then he a bit exaggerates in the next picture. I guess he is trying to hold on his head or hands.
Stand on his head.
To-
Stand on his
Yeah,
head.
to amuse, to
You could say
entertain the baby.
balance as well. Balance on his head, I suppose. But we usually say
Okay.
stand. Stand on your hand. Stand on
Stand
your
on
head.
your hand. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or you could say balance
Uh,
upside down because he is
okay.
upside down.
Is it okay to use amuse instead of entertain?
Yeah, certainly. He's trying to
Yeah.
amuse the baby. That's a
He's
good
trying
word here. Yeah, to
he's
amuse
trying
somebody.
to amuse.
Yeah, amuse the baby.
Amuse the baby, but baby doesn't care. He seems that it seems that, right?
It
'Cause we don't
seems that
know
he,
its
yeah,
gender.
it
It
seems.
seems that he has some issues because otherwise normally the babies would have been, amused.
Good. Entertained, amused. They would have been
Yeah.
laughing.
Okay, so there must be a problem for the man.
Good. Good.
And let's move on to the next row.
Good.
And then, in the next picture, the same character, I guess, but now he's not a serious guy anymore. He has worn some clone-like
Yeah, I would say he has
costumes, right?
put on rather than he has
has put
worn.
on.
He has put on
He has worn. He has
costume.
put on some different costumes.
Yeah, just because where is not put on, where is the state? I am wearing a white
yes, you're
t-shirt.
right.
I'm not putting one on. And so put on is at the start. Where is the whole process? You can say he is wearing a costume, of course, but he has put on a costume.
Okay, so while talking about this specific action, we use put on, but if you are talking about the situation, we are using wear, right?
It's
Good.
a question of
Thank
tense here. It really is. Because you used has and then you used present perfect, it's got to be something that's complete. But he has, so he has worn sounds like he has completed wearing, and that's a little bit odd. You might be talking about your life and say, yes, in my life, I have worn this garment, I have worn that garment. Okay, you might, but it doesn't mean you're still wearing them. And this is the confusing thing with present perfect for a lot of students. Sometimes it's still true now, but sometimes you're just talking about your life in general. And because you're talking about your life and it's unfinished, you're talking about what you have done in your whole life. And so, yeah, I wouldn't say he has worn.
Actually, I meant that, we can also use the present perfect tense for completed actions that we didn't see happen in the past,
yes,
right?
exactly.
So that's
exactly.
why.
And when you
actually,
say he has worn, that to me sounds like at some point in his life, he has worn those clothes.
Okay, now I got it. Okay. So he has put on or he has changed.
Yeah, he's changed his clothes. Yeah.
Clothes. And then he has put on a new kind of dresses. which
New
he
clothes,
thought
not new dresses.
new clothes,
Good.
which he must have thought that it was going to take the attention of the baby.
Yeah, make him laugh. Yeah, he
Make
must
him
have thought
laugh.
that it would make him
Uh-huh.
laugh. It must have thought it's good. Yeah, he must have thought it would make him
He
laugh.
must have thought, yes.
That's good. You
And
said that
then,
right.
okay, perfect infinitive, perfect modal, right?
Yeah,
Perfect
perfect modal. It
Yep.
works very well here.
Okay. And then in the next picture, when the guy realizes or sees that still these things are nothing, they're not working, his mood changes a bit. I think he is about to, I don't know, but the baby still continues crying.
Good.
And then in the last picture, the lady comes back, the woman. He was the same woman, right? The baby is still bawling his eyes out.
Yeah, it's another way of saying
so it
crying. It
must
came up in one
be
of
a
the other
phrase.
classes. Yeah, it came up in one of the other classes. So I'm just reminding you, you can say crying his eyes out, bawling his eyes out, just like you say burst into tears. We very often say he's bawling his eyes out, and it just means crying a lot. Bawling your
Okay.
eyes out is crying a lot. Crying your eyes out is crying a lot.
Okay. So the lady comes back,
Good.
and then when she takes the baby, so we are able to understand that the baby has pissed off, right?
Not pissed off, no.
On the pillow. What
Not
is
pissed
that?
off. Pissed off is angry, irritated, and you would have to say the baby is pissed off, but no, he hasn't. He
He's
isn't pissed
just
off.
pissed. Just pissed.
Not pissed either. Pissed to me sounds drunk, firstly, or maybe angry, like pissed off. But the baby has made a mess. Somebody said it like that the other day, and it sounds very natural. If you want to avoid swearing, then you say the baby has made a mess. Yeah, it's clear that
Baby
has made a
has
mess. Yeah,
made a mess.
yeah,
Okay. So it must be the polite way of saying
poo himself, shit himself. Yeah, I mean you can say it like that. Poo himself, shit himself, and of course if it's we then or pissed himself, weed himself. You know, you can say it like that. And we do say weed himself. And I don't mean like the noun. I mean like a verb to we. But he has weed himself. You can even say he has wet himself if it's piss. But piss, yeah, is much ruder, of course. But yeah, if you want to avoid all of those, because they all sound a little bit rude, yeah, if you want to say it in the most polite way possible, then you say the baby has made a mess.
Dave, could you please take those words to a cleaner site so that we can see it clearly?
I'll try and put it down. Yeah, put it up there.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you. Weed himself, wet himself. Okay,
yeah,
good.
I wouldn't. I mean, some of those I would never write. I'd never write poo or wee. I think they're just too informal and for children. You know, like it sounds weird to use some of them as an adult, if I'm honest, like poo or wee. And so I wouldn't usually write them. And weed with the D on the end looks really strange to me just because it looks like the noun. But yeah, excellent. Okay, let's go on to. I'm going to move on just to make sure we all get a chance, but we'll go on to Mikita now because I remember Mikita. Mikita, are you there? Hello.
I'm here, Dave.
Excellent.
Hi,
Excellent.
Hi, everyone.
So, what do you want to do today, Mikita? Would you like to do the next picture, or do you want to just go towards the end? I wonder, as long as it's one you haven't done, it should be okay. But if you want to go to a different one, I don't mind. We've done this one several times this year in a few classes, or different people have done it a few times. Do you want to go towards the end, or it's up to you? Or you can retell a story if you've got one prepared.
No, I haven't prepared anything for today's class.
That's the best way sometimes, Mikita. It really is the best way because I think it's good to do something spontaneous. It's harder. So you've got one about cars here. Do you want to do one about cars or?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what can you?
I'll take this picture.
I'll try and make it bigger for you because it is a bit small at the moment. Let's try and make it much bigger. Okay. What can you see in that first picture?
There are three men.
Good.
Standing by a car. Good. the man in the middle is introducing the one that stands beside him.
Good. Who do you think he is?
to
What do you think he's about to do?
I think this guy with a suitcase. Is it a suitcase or a bag?
Good question. I think it's similar to a briefcase or
Briefcase.
I mean, yeah, briefcase is the small one which businessmen usually have a briefcase. It usually has a handle at the top, a briefcase, and he's holding it like that, so it's a bit strange.
It's not hard to guess that this man is a driver instructor.
Good. A driving instructor. Good.
Driving instructor.
Good.
And the man in the middle, I think maybe is a friend of the one that's is frightened. Is frightened, and he has tremor. He's tremoring.
He's shaking. Yeah, he's shaking.
Shaking.
He's in tremors. Yeah, he's shaking. You could say he's in tremors or he's having tremor, but you don't say tremoring. You don't use it as a verb. Tremor is a noun usually. A shake, a tremor in your hand or something like that. But yeah, he's shaking. He's shaking with fear. Yeah, something like that.
Yes, he's scared of the fact that he's going to drive a car. It's probably his first attempt to drive, and he doesn't know what to expect.
Good.
What's going to happen. So the next picture, the second picture, shows us three men in a car, and the one who is the one who's scared is about to start the engine or to ignite.
Start the engine or start the ignition. Yeah,
to start ignition.
It's called the ignition. The
ignition.
Yeah, where you start the engine.
Yeah, when you put in or insert the key.
You put the keys in the ignition. Exactly. You put the keys in the ignition.
Yes, and rotate or turn the key, and it starts the engine. Or I just don't know the correct description. Or
you put the keys in the ignition and it starts the engine. Yeah, it's correct. Certainly.
Okay. So the third picture is quite wide and bigger than the previous two, and it shows that the car is moving. Can I say, is it a corridor of road signs or something?
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of complicated road signs.
Yeah, yes, and they all show the direction, different arrows. And really, it can make anyone who is driving make confused, or
make them confused. It can make them confused. Get them confused.
Get them confused.
Good.
Because yes, it's if you're looking for a special location, like a town or whatever, what village. So I think you will have a hard time understanding.
I think he's gone down the wrong road for his driving test. Certainly, He's doing a very difficult part of town, and of course they do take you to different parts of town.
Mhm.
I know it's always easier if it's a place you're already familiar with, of course.
But in the next picture, it seems that they have managed to overcome these road signs and make their way somewhere where there are a lot of people and two adults and teenagers, two boys are playing football in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
Or,
it makes it harder, yeah, for him, of course.
yeah, and there is a cyclist,
Uh-huh.
and a man who doesn't care about his safety because he's reading a newspaper.
Good.
He is very busy reading because I think the article an article he's reading maybe drew all of his attention, or
yeah, has drawn
caught all of his attention, or
you can't really catch.
yes.
Yeah, you can catch. So yeah, you can catch. Couldn't catch his attention. Yeah, okay, you can catch somebody's attention. Yeah, so it's, but I wouldn't use it for when somebody is absorbed. It's, you know, when somebody gets your attention, they click your fingers or something like that, and they catch your attention.
Or maybe it's better to say to grab somebody's attention. Grab. Because I think I've heard somewhere maybe in a movie.
We often, not often grab somebody's attention. Get somebody's attention sounds better to me. Get, I would hear much more than catch or grab. I would say that he is engrossed in the newspaper because it's an engrossing. Two S's, engrossed, I think. Engrossed in the newspaper, fascinated by that article. Yeah, because it's a riveting story. It's a very interesting story.
He is a devoted reader.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He loves reading.
Indulge. Can we use indulge, Dave? Indulge in reading.
No, not indulged in reading. It's got to be engrossed, you know, where you're fascinated by the article. Indulge yourself. Yeah, you indulge yourself when you maybe eat a lot or drink a lot, then you're indulging yourself. Okay.
And we can see the driver is he's scared of a possible accident.
Yeah, he's scared of having an accident, having an accident.
There are also two animals, like a cat and a dog, and the dog is chasing the cat.
Good.
And it makes things even more complicated.
Good.
So the next picture, we see a new obstacle, a little obstacle, and this time it is a little snail.
Yeah, just run over the snail. Yeah.
Yes, and it moves faster. It's way ahead of the driver.
Yeah, it's going faster than the driver. He's going very slowly. Yes. He's being careful.
Yeah, he's being careful.
Good.
And it seems that he has passed his driving test.
Excellent.
Successfully, or he has just passed his driving test.
You don't need to say successfully, because pass means successfully. Yeah, pass doesn't mean take an exam. You know, you take an exam, or you have an exam, or you do an exam, and if you pass it, great. You know, that is successful. You can say pass something with flying colors to say that you pass with a really good mark. Pass an exam with flying colours always. Yep. I just wouldn't put successfully after pass. You
And
won't.
the driving instructor, I think he's giving him his driving license.
Good.
He has obtained, or he has granted maybe
Good.
a driving license. So he now can drive a car officially, legally, and the last picture, I think it's really shows who this man is. His true intentions, because yes, he just needs this driving license formally, because he is a professional driver, really.
Yeah, he's a race car driver, yeah. Or
he's a car driver, yes, and he doesn't really care about people and road rules or anything connected to to traffic. So he only cares about his car, his speed, and his presence on the road. And it's really maybe as a conclusion, I can say that he's a hypocrite.
Hypocrite, yeah, he's a hypocrite.
Hypocrite, yes, because it contradicts with what we saw in the beginning of this picture.
I don't know if I call it what.
Or
I think
maybe
he was doing that just because he wanted to pass the test. Yeah, I think he probably wanted to go faster or speed, but once he's passed the test, okay, he doesn't need to worry about going slowly anymore.
Initially, he thought it would be it would be hard for him, but in the process, he grew. He became fearless, or maybe.
He became fearless.
Reckless.
I think his reckless is a good word. We do say a reckless driver, definitely a reckless driver. I think it was just to pass this test. I think he knew full well that if he drives recklessly, if anybody gets injured, then he's definitely not going to pass the test. But he's passed now, and so relax. It doesn't matter if he runs somebody over or something like that. And that's usually what we say for when you collide with somebody or crash. If he crashes into somebody, if he crashes into another car, crash into other vehicles, I would probably say crash into somebody or somebody's car. Okay, excellent, Mikita. Let's keep going. On to Stefano now. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was brilliant. Let's go on to Stefano. And then we've also got Nariman waiting, and I will put you on, Nariman, in a second. Don't worry. But yeah, do write your names down, guys, next time, because I see all of you. I didn't see yours, Nariman, but I know that Maria was supposed to come, but she hasn't come, so you can take her place, no problem. But do write the names down on the grammar shed, and then it makes it. I just know exactly who's coming then. Okay, Stefano, which one do you want to do? Do you want to do a much later one? Do you want to just talk?
I want to talk to you because I wanted to kind of summon what I'm the TV series that I'm watching right now.
Okay, excellent.
And I wanted to. This is freely inspired from the TV series that I'm watching, and I try to fit into my story a lot of phrasal verbs, constructions,
excellent.
Something that we already saw in all these months now of lessons and so on. So there is this guy, which is who is they defining him a living Adonis because he is he's a rich man, handsome. He has a lot of women. And,
is this a UK show or an Italian show?
It's an American show. It's an American TV series that is 25 years still going on.
What's it called?
The Bold and the Beautiful.
Okay, The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah,
The Bold and the Beautiful.
I don't know it.
It's great. I really advise everybody, if you want to learn language, because it's all dialogues. There is no action. No
that's
action.
very good. I agree. It's very good to hear
because
dialogue.
you are completely exposed to the language for 20 minutes. An episode lasts 20 minutes, so it's total exposition to the language for 20 minutes. And they are very clear, very, very clear. Anyway, so there is this guy, and this guy wants to marry a beautiful woman who the name is Caroline. And the father of Caroline sees another woman who happened to be an ex-girlfriend of that guy. So it kind of seems that she's taking her frustrations out on him because she's saying that he's a bad guy, he's a womanizer. Don't let her daughter to marry him. You must
don't let your daughter, say that again, don't let your daughter
get married with him.
Good. No two. Don't let her marry him.
Okay, don't let her marry him. And so she's trying to persuade him to do something to break the couple. To break
the couple up. To break them up. To
break them up. So he goes to the guy. He goes in the office of the guy, and he told him that he heard enough to realize that her daughter could be taken in by him.
Okay.
Could be taken in by
could
him.
be taken in by him. Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the guy is really furious for this this sentence.
Furious with. Or furious about. If it's a sentence, furious about. Actually,
furious about this definition, because he defines him a womanizer in front. And the father gave him an ultimatum. He is saying
ultimatum. I would say ultimatum. An ultimatum.
Ultimatum, because I pronounce Latin. I use the Latin ultimatum. So
I guess it's a Latin word. Yeah.
Yes, it's a Latin word. And so he says, he tells him, by midnight of today, by today's midnight, the relationship must be ended.
Okay.
And you know what the guy reaction is? When he saw Caroline, the girl, he asked her to marry him instead of So and then in the same evening, he goes to his father's house with her, saying that they will get married. So the father gets crazy, but he can't say anything because there is the daughter in front of him. Oh, look, finally he wants to marry. I'm so happy. I'm so glad my life will change. Blah, blah, blah. No? And so he met also the parents of the guy and so on. And then he met also the other girl who keeps on telling him that he is a bad guy. You have to break the couple. And so the father tells her, you must stop to cast aspersions on him.
You must stop casting aspersions. After stop gerund.
Okay, you must stop casting aspersions on him.
Good.
You must stop making him out to be a liar, a dangerous monster, a womanizer.
It's about him, by the way, not on him, by the way. I think it's you must stop casting aspersions about him. I will check quickly. It's a good expression to cast aspersions.
Yes.
But I think it's about somebody.
What is aspersion?
Check. But keep going. Cast aspersions means to... do you want to explain, Stefano? Go on.
Yes. It's like casting shadows on someone. It's that you are telling bad words about someone, but behind his back. You're
right, Stefano. You're right. I'm wrong. Yeah. When you say bad things, you're right about cast aspersions on him. You are right.
Okay, casting aspersions on him. And so, but anyway, his father start to make him tailed by an investigator. Because anyway, in some way, he trusts the girl, because in the end, the girl is right. Because the investigator find that guy with another woman.
Okay.
And he took picture of them in bed.
Okay. So he has evidence.
Yes, he has evidence. But he gave the picture to the father, and then the father must tell to his daughter.
Must tell his daughter. No, two. Must tell his daughter.
Must tell his daughter what happened.
Good.
But he sees her so happy on cloud nine about this marriage that he is really afraid to spoil her mood.
Her mood.
Her mood. But anyway, he tells himself, I have to do it. So he is waiting the day of the wedding, and the wedding is in the house of that guy. And right before her daughter is walking down the aisle to reach the guy to get married, he tells her the truth. He tells her that Rage is the name of the guy, that Rage 1 week before the wedding went in bed with another woman.
Went to bed with
another woman. And Caroline says, just before he says this, Caroline used a great expression, which I found great, because she says, please stop with all this innuendo. If you have to say something, just say it and get over with.
Get it over with. Get it over with.
Just say it and get it over with. And then her father tells her the truth. She walks down the aisle. She arrives in front of Rage, and while she is looking in his eyes, she fainted.
Okay.
She fainted because she can't put up with what happened and what her father has just told her. So she fainted in front of Rage and in front of the priest. So
and then, do you think, I'm going to ask you, do you think he did the right thing, just to tell her the truth? Or do you think it's better to leave somebody in blissful ignorance?
This is a good question. I think that maybe it was the right thing to do, but he had to do sooner than that moment.
He should have done it immediately.
Yes, he should have done it immediately, because she was totally destroyed by it. Just before the wedding ceremony. Just before. So
the earlier the better with something like that. But yeah, it's not nice to be the bearer of bad news, is it? It's not really nice.
Yes, she was really devastated. And then maybe sometimes I will tell you also the other part, but it's beautiful, really. It's really great. It's compelling.
Yeah, I would like you all to know that, retelling a TV show is fantastic. I think it's a great way to practice, and it saves doing the pictures each and every time, which, are quite nice for spontaneity. But I do like doing TV shows because there's always something in it which is difficult to explain. There's always a nice long plot that you can do. And so, I think TV shows are a great way to practice. And so, please do it. Please do it. Tell us the end of this story next time. Let's go on to Nariman now, who's been waiting patiently. Sorry, Nariman, for keeping you waiting.
Hello.
Hello. And I remember you're in Moscow, aren't you? Yeah?
Sorry?
Are you in Moscow?
No, right now, no. Right now, I'm in my hometown, down in Dagestan.
Oh, in Dagestan. Sorry. Okay. Do you study in Moscow?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember you said at the Universitet or Vodopoyovigori or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Moscow State University. Right.
Excellent. Okay. Would you prefer to do a picture, or would you prefer to tell us a story? It's up to you.
First of all, I'm sorry I didn't write my name in grammar check. I won't repeat this one once again in future.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's not a problem. It's still, we're
let's
still,
go for
this is the start, and so it's all getting, everybody's getting used to what the, I'm getting used to it too. I'm trying to make it. I didn't like it doing one time a week on Fridays just because it was getting too long per session, and then people are waiting, like you say, waiting for a long time for a session. So I prefer to do it each day, but do a little like half an hour session each day with 4 or 5 people. And so yeah, just write it down because we'll do. I'll still try and make sure everybody only gets once a week. Then everybody gets more sessions or as many as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. And so do you want to do a picture then? Shall we go to a picture?
Let's go for a story. The previous one story just reminded me a real story from our history.
Excellent.
So Leo Tolstoy, I guess everyone know him. So before he was kind of womanized before his marriage, and he has a lot of had a lot of stuff with just uh girls, how peasant girls,
peasant girls, peasant
yeah.
girls. Is this a TV show you're telling us, or?
No, it is a real story about Leo Tolstoy, or literature.
Okay, yeah, it's a classic. It's classical literature, yeah.
Yeah,
What's it called?
It's his biography.
Whose biography? Whose?
Tolstoy.
Tolstoy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Tolstoy's biography.
Yeah. So he had a lot of stuff with girls and etc. But right before his marriage, he was proposed for a girl, and
he proposed to a girl. He proposed.
Yeah, proposed to a girl, and before a week, he gave her all his diary.
His diaries.
Yes, about all his adventure and journey with other girls. So yeah, right.
I must admit, I've heard some stories about Tolstoy a few times, and he's not someone who seems very nice to me. Seems quite strange. Is he? Are you a fan of Tolstoy?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent.
I'm not sure about his, like a person, but like a writer, he's really great.
Okay, yeah. My wife really likes reading Tolstoy. I prefer Dostoevsky. The little bits that I've read by Tolstoy, I haven't enjoyed that much. But
yeah, it's classical war between Dostoevsky fans and Tolstoy fans. Yeah.
Yeah, normally you like one or the other. You don't like them both usually.
Yeah, right. And actually, in real life, they also had kind of fight between them too.
Yeah, they had a bit of rivalry. Yeah, we say rivalry. Yeah, they were rivals. Both writers, of course, and so yeah, there was rivalry between the two.
Right. So, the fact is that back those days, it was kind of strange for women to had pre-marriage life. I mean, pre-marriage sexual life. So the question for her was like, should I still marry this young man, like Tolstoy, or not? She married him, but she was crying during the wedding. So it just reminds me about this one story. He tell all the truth to her, but kind of really sad truth, let's say.
The ugly truth by the sounds of it. I mean, I would say, probably she didn't want to know, did she? Although it's hard to say.
I don't know. But she decided to read, so she had an option just to refuse to read them.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So she could have chosen not to read them. Yeah, she could have said, I'm not interested. You're right, absolutely.
So yeah, just remind me so.
But yeah, I heard I heard that he had relationships with the peasant girls that were on his manor. And I've just heard a few things about him that make it seems to me he was a bit of a champagne socialist. If you understand what that means, yeah?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just think that there are a lot of those around nowadays, and I don't like it. I find it irritating when somebody kind of reads moral lectures. And I think Tolstoy, again, quite often spoke about relationships.
Dostoevsky actually do also had a strange story with with his first marriage. Like he was going with another girl during while having a wife.
Okay, yeah. So he cheated. He cheated on his first wife. Yeah, he cheated on her. Yeah, cheat on somebody. So he was cheating on his first wife.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Tolstoy.
I do agree that what you shouldn't judge somebody's writing on how they were as a person. I can think of a few people where I really like their writing and I really don't like them as a person. Sorry, as a person. Oscar Wilde is one, for example. I really like his writing, but I think as a person, he wasn't a very nice person at all. It seems to me. But yeah, amazing writer, absolutely amazing. And yeah, with Dostoevsky, I'm sure that he was in a few ways, yeah, not a great guy. But yeah, I think he's an amazing writer.
Yeah. Which novels of the Dostoevsky actually you prefer, you find them best or something?
I like Crime and Punishment the most, but it's partly because it's quite readable. It's quite easy to read. Even, I mean, well, I read it recently in the original, and so it was one of the certainly the first book that I've read by him in the original. And I like the fact that there was a lot of dialogue because dialogue is easier to understand than when the writer is just describing everything. But I've read lots of his books in English, but only really one or two in Russian, the small ones as well. Journey of or Dream of a Ridiculous Man. Is that right? Dream of a Ridiculous Man. I can't think what it's called now. Сон смешного человека. I remember it in Russian, but I can't remember it in English.
Yeah. I do find the just Idiot the best of his novels, actually.
Okay.
I guess for me personally.
Okay, yeah. I had an adapted text for The Idiot because I started reading in Russian with the adapted texts because it's the best way always. And I found The Idiot really quite challenging, especially in the middle. And I gave up. I got about halfway and gave up. But that was an adapted text, so it should have been easier. But I actually found that quite challenging. I really did. I know generally roughly the story. When I was young, I read Karamazov and things like that. I read his big books, and I like Notes from the Underground. I think that's a really good book.
Yeah,
that's his first one.
Записки из подполья in Russian, yeah.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Great, yeah. Yeah, it was all actually for me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sorry?
I said it was all of what I had to say actually this story.
Okay, yeah, indeed. I like the way I think it's very psychological, and I think it's very interesting how he, points out that people do things sometimes just to spite themselves and to spite other people. We say to spite here, and he has a very spiteful character in Notes from the Underground. I mean, he's really quite a nasty character, and yeah, there's some really interesting parts in Notes from the Underground, certainly. Which other writers do you like? Not necessarily Russian, maybe English.
I'll think about it's mostly Russian, to be honest. Just like Turgenev, I do
Turgenev, I know Fathers and Sons. I read that a long time ago.
Yeah, Pushkin, of course. I think about foreigners. I do have some.
I read one by Pushkin, which was about a captain. It was like it was a very war kind of story. I forget what it's called now. I can't remember what it's called.
Captain's Daughter in English.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Kapitanskaya Dodge, exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
And again, it was a nice book. It was a kind of like a learning, like you get the learning English books. There were questions after every chapter and stuff like that to help me understand and help me get better. But it was really good.
Pushkin is not really popular in Europe and in world, as I know, because he's special for us, for Russian, because he made up our language. But for you, it's kind of it's nothing new, to be honest, for Europeans, because he kind of Russian. How do you call this English writer? Starts with B. Classical English writer. I don't
can't think of any now. Starting with a B. All I can think of is Bulgakov.
No, not Bulgakov, actually.
No, an English guy, yeah?
Yeah.
Can anyone think of any English writers with a B, starting with a B?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Trying to recall someone.
Who? Go on, Pavel.
No. I'm just trying to recall at least one.
Yeah, there must be someone starting with a B. I can't think of anybody starting with a B.
I'm sorry. I will tell you next time. But so yeah, he's special for us, not for other nations, because it's nothing new for them. But Dostoevsky and Tolstoy, of course, knew some.
With English books now, I really like just picking one up from at random. I really do. I think there's a lot to be said for that. When I was at school, I had an English teacher, in one of the years when I was there, my favourite English teacher, he used to come in with this big box of books, and there were loads in there, and he'd just say, choose one, and you're reading that one. And he really encouraged us to just choose at random. And I liked that. And one of the stories in the latest course, which will be on my website soon, I'm doing it at the moment. I'm doing a lot of Control-C, Control-V to get it from Udemy onto my website. But one of the stories in that, I picked it at random and started reading it. And I thought, it's one of the books from that box from years ago when I was about 13 years old. I first read it. It's a really interesting story, I thought anyway at the time, about Richard III, and it's a modern detective looking at the crime of the princes who were killed in the Tower or killed somewhere. It's a historical crime. It's in Shakespeare and stuff like that. And he comes to the conclusion that Richard III is not the killer. And it's really quite interesting how he gets there and how he realizes that it's nothing to do with Richard III and that Richard III has been demonized over time. But yeah, very, very interesting. And I like just picking books at random like that. I really do. With Russian ones, I try to find whatever I find enjoyable reading. I did like reading quite a lot of the Alexander Belyaev ones. He's got a lot of science fiction ones, and they're quite easy to read, quite straightforward. But yeah, it's always nice to find something new, something good.
Yeah, I just remember the name of English guy. It's Lord Byron.
Lord Byron. Yeah, he's a great poet. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, we call Pushkin our Byron.
Yeah, I can understand why. Years ago I read Don Juan. He wrote Don Juan Byron, and it's really it's a lovely to read poem. It really is nice to read. Okay, well, we'll stop there for today, guys. But I think tomorrow there's not going to be a class, but on Thursday and Friday there will, but just one a week for each student. And so next week I'll see you all at some point, and I'll try and do it like this week, where there's one at 10 in the morning, one at 4 in the evening, so that there are lots of different options for people. Okay? Okay, fantastic.
Sure.
Well, I'll see you all next time then, guys. See you next week.
Hi,
Thank you,
Dave.
Dave. It was a
My
great
pleasure.
class.
My pleasure always.
Bye.
My pleasure. And perhaps we'll change something in
Thank you,
future.
Dave.
My pleasure, Mikita, my pleasure. Perhaps we'll change something in future. I don't want to just do the pictures each time. If you want to come to the class with some kind of story in your head, I still don't advise too much writing or I mean, if you are going to write down and prepare something, I don't recommend that you just read from it when you're doing it here, but I think you all know this, yeah, that it's sometimes it's good to prepare, but it's still good to, like Stefano did today, just kind of roll it out without looking at anything from memory. I think that's always great. And yeah, if you're watching any kind of UK or US TV shows, they do work very well for retells. And so we can do some of that as well, but we can always talk about writers as well. I enjoy talking about literature. And so, yeah, if anybody wants to retell a story from literature, that's great as well. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dave.
You're welcome. Go on. No,
I also noticed something in those comic strips. In each comic strip, I guess, the author tries to tell us something. He has a message, right?
There's a message, yeah. There is.
We can talk about these messages, moral of those comic strips, if there is, etc.
There's very often a reversal, I think, at the end. That's what I've noticed, where there's some kind of reversal which you're not expecting, or someone pointed it out the other day. I've done a lot of these now with a lot of different students, and yeah, I think they work really well for learning English. And of course, we can discuss a message as well. So yeah, we'll carry on. We haven't finished this book yet, and so we'll carry on. We'll finish it.
We also try to find a title, to try to give a title to that specific, because there is a story, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want, I can put this up for download in the Grammar Shed. You can all download it. This book, I mean, the Bidstrup books, because it's, you know, it's I think it's out of copyright. I found it for free anyway online, and so of course I can share it with you. It's just a PDF. But yeah, I think he did this in the 1920s, 1930s, but it does say copyright strip at the bottom, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll put it up in the Grammar Shed so you can all download it. And if you want to choose one, then please do so. You know, perhaps that will work best. In fact, that's a really good idea. So I will put it in. I'll put these pictures, the Earl of Bidstrup pictures, these ones right here. Yeah, this thing. Put it at the start. This thing. These 200 of his best work. And I'll put it in the Grammar Shed. And if you want to choose one for next time, that works great. That will be a really good idea. Okay. Okay. See you next time then, guys. Have a great week. Speak soon.
See you. Have a great week.
See you soon. And look in the Grammar Shed for this. I'll do it right now so I don't forget. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Until next time.
Until the next time.